So I'm coming to you over the weekend on this channel, which usually I just do weekday. I'm going to do weekday postings here, but something is going on that is really interesting, and it has to do with Halo. Obviously, I want to go over that because it's Halo Infinite. I'm a big Halo fan, but it kind of looks like Microsoft was setting up a bit of a surprise for Halo Infinite during that Xbox anniversary live stream that's taking place tomorrow. Rumors are really starting to swirl, and there appears to be a lot of stuff actually pointing to them making some pretty serious announcement tomorrow that would allow us to play Halo Infinite sooner than we were originally thinking. I have some updates around this whole thing as well. Guys, if you enjoy these videos, make sure that like button helps out a ton. And if you're new here to the SpawnWave Plus channel, make sure you subscribe down below. So let's head over here. This was posted over on Forbes. Paul Tassie's been following up on this, collecting a lot of the information, some evidence around the possibility of Halo Infinite dropping early. Now, over the weekend, I had talked to Nate about this. We actually did a sit-down episode for his Nate the Hate channel where we talked about this because it was breaking at the time, and Nate had brought this up on Twitter saying that he was able to independently verify that Microsoft was looking to even launch Halo Infinite tomorrow during that anniversary live stream. And I'll admit, Nate had asked me during the recording if I even believed it. The reason I wasn't able to believe it right then and there, necessarily like completely on board, is because it seemed so sudden. It's like, okay, we're announcing it and it's ready now. But since then, Nate and a few others have kind of said, hey, they might not be launching it tomorrow, but it is happening early, like before the originally proposed December 8th release date. And we could actually hear more about that tomorrow. Now, if we look here at Halo Infinite multiplayer early launch theory update, and as I've mentioned, Paul has gone through and collected a lot of the information. Halo Hub keeps talking about this, by the way. They even went a bit further today, saying we've just received a report from a reliable source that we can expect both Halo and Halo Infinite multiplayer and a playable campaign demo on Monday. It's interesting. And they say they follow up, we are aware of players, streamers, gaming personalities, etc. under NDA who already know all of this. We've seen evidence but don't want to get anyone into trouble. We saw that campaign demo because there were previews that went out, IGN, Game Informer. We talked about that during Newswave. So obviously they have at least some sort of preview that's playable. Could they push a demo out there for the campaign? I guess it's possible. I don't really know if it's as necessary considering the multiplayer will drum up enough hype on its own and it's free to play. You could launch early access for the multiplayer and that would make waves immediately online. There'd be a ton of coverage, a lot of excitement. This is Nate, by the way, doing a bit of an update saying an 11th hour change has claimed the early rollout of Halo Infinite multiplayer. Original plans were to have Halo Infinite multiplayer available on Monday, November 15th, but a delay will push it back a tad bit. Still planned for November. Okay, so it does at least still sound like we'll be getting access to this multiplayer ahead of when we originally thought, December 8th. And Halo.api was actually one of the first, I believe, to put this out there, where they had mentioned Heroes of Reach November 15th, 2021. And I feel like that may have something to do with them looking through some of the, I guess, available code from, I guess, the earlier build that we had, and they have been spotting different things in there. They say they may lose $100 because the multiplayer will drop a few days later, but at least servers are already up, which is nice. They've also spotted 343 playing games on the servers now for Halo Infinite, clearly testing and just making sure everything's ready to go, which you would expect now. I mean, either way, we're less than a month away from the game launching. But would Microsoft really do an early launch for the Halo Infinite multiplayer? It seems strange, but then you see things like this. Paul Tassi and many people pointed out that Pringles, who is doing a collaboration with Microsoft for Halo Infinite, and it had a countdown timer, 1 day, 5 hours, 40 minutes, of course, leading up to the 15th. Now, that timer appears to have been taken down since it was spotted. I guess somebody got in trouble. But some people are also saying, no, the timer's still going. They just made it invisible for now. They just hid it on the website, which, I mean, then I don't really know what the point of the timer was in the first place, because by the time you're able to show it, it's going to be maybe they're going to put it up after the announcement is made during the anniversary live stream. That was their original plan. Either way, though, it does seem kind of up in the air still. And it does appear like they were planning something for the anniversary live stream tomorrow, so you're going to want to watch it. I mean, it sounds like there was going to be some pretty interesting things when it comes to backwards compatibility. Obviously, the whole point of the stream is to play up the nostalgia factor. We're going to be going back to when the original Xbox first launched back in 2001 and then go through the generations of Xbox. So I assume we're going to find out about new additions to the backwards compatible library for the Xbox series. It'd be really cool if we got something like Jet Set Radio Future, which we've talked about before, or maybe they do FPS boost to current games and new games, maybe some new effects, better resolution, different textures, all of those different things, and they have done that before. Knights of the Old Republic, for example, looks significantly better to play. Now, coming from Microsoft's angle as obviously a business who is looking to maximize potential of Game Pass, does it make sense to launch Halo Infinite multiplayer early? I would say it does, but they have to have the correct plan in place. I don't think you just throw it out there free to play. Clearly, they'd want to do it and put it behind some sort of wall, some sort of barrier, right, for the early access side, whereas when they launch at retail, it's just going to be free to play. You don't even need Xbox Live Gold to play Halo Infinite online, which is great considering we see games like Fortnite, for example, right, that's clearly benefited heavily from being free to play, and then obviously tacking on other monetization strategies beyond just collecting an upfront fee to get into the game. And we know Halo Infinite's going to be doing battle passes, those kind of things there. So if Microsoft did early access for Halo Infinite and put it behind Game Pass Ultimate, they would probably spike sales of their subscription service like exponentially right away. We saw the effect that Halo Infinite had during that flight where it was trending on Twitter. It had over 120,000 tweets. People seemed really happy with this flight, myself included. It wasn't great at first with the bots. To be honest, it got kind of boring because eventually the bots would just kind of blend together and it felt like you were doing the exact same thing because they would react for the most part the same way. They appeared to learn and get better though, which is a little odd now that you think about it, but eventually we had full PvP opened up and then we had big team battle and it became really, really fun. Felt like old school Halo with kind of this, I guess, this new twist on the formula. So a lot of us are just ready to get into the multiplayer. I know Phil Spencer had mentioned we don't know if we want to split up the campaign and the multiplayer. However, I'm just ready to get into the multiplayer. So I know the early access thing is a bit weird when it comes down to it, considering they're launching basically part of the game now and then the campaign later. But it's something that Microsoft has done with certain games, like we just saw Forza, where they actually sold early access for $45 to $100, depending on if you are a Game Pass subscriber or not. So taking the free-to-play part of Halo Infinite, putting it behind Game Pass Ultimate for 2 or 3 weeks, I mean, it's a way for them to continue driving up those Game Pass subscriptions, which is, I mean, their end goal, right, as it is overall. But let me know what you guys think about this one down below. Do you believe that Halo Infinite could actually see an early access release specifically for the multiplayer? Or do you think Microsoft's going to stick to what they've said and everything is releasing December 8th? Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll see you next time.